it's time to rate the gym. Let's begin with the training area. So yeah, the training area was pretty big. You had all the dumbbells from every single weight you need, and you had a weighted belt for weighted pull-ups, and like basically you had basically like everything a training area needs. I think they could use a campus board. I didn't saw that in the training area, and I think they can also maybe put a moonboard besides the kilter board, or at least like have a something for quims and smaller holds, because the kilter board doesn't really do that much. And I think for the rest, the training area is fine. I think I'm gonna give it like a 9, because I'm missing the campus board and some stuff where you can like train grip strength with. I think having a moonboard in this gym would be, I think, perfect. So you have something where you can like train grip strength and, pull on pretty like tiny holds on, because you don't really have that right now in the gym. So yeah, I think if they have a moonboard besides the kilter board and like, something where you can like campus on, I think it's perfect, because you have quite a lot of straight walls in the gym. You can't really campus that easily. And like you have maybe like 2 overhanging parts, which just isn't enough to build proper campusing strength. So that's why I'm gonna rate it a 9. So what do I think about the route setting? First of all, the space is really big, so you have a lot of walls you can climb on. You have a lot of floors, like you have a kilter board you can climb on if you're running out of problems. I do think that when it comes to the route setting itself, I sometimes feel like the easier grades, like the 7As, feel harder than the 7Bs. And also the 6Bs, there's also like the problem that 6Cs feel way easier than the 6Bs or some 6B pluses in the gym. I feel like it's quite inconsistent, and people also downgrade the boulders a lot. There's a lot of reviews also saying this, and I have to agree also with those reviews, because I felt it a lot in the gym. Even though I felt like I could have done probably 3 or 4 7Bs, I feel like the grade consistency is just not really there. Like there is not really a level where you can like see, alright, this is how a 7B feels like, or should feel like, and this is how a 7A should feel like, or a 6A feel like. It's just some boulders feel harder than others. There was like this pink 7B slab that just felt really, really hard, way harder than the other 7Bs that I had done. And yeah, I think I'm gonna rate the gym a 8 for route setting, because I do feel like they use a lot of the holds, which is really, really nice. They have like a lot of different styles, and like they use all kinds of different holds, which makes the boulders really fun to climb. But I think it's just a little bit weird how they grade the boulders, but alright. Alright, let's now talk about the cleanliness. I think this gym is really clean. I did saw some black spots on the light green 7B at the end of my climbing session. And there was like quite a lot of chalk on some of the holds. The black 7A that I did, where I fell out of the end a few times, felt a little bit greasy. For the rest, I do think the holds are quite clean, but I think they can maybe clean it a little bit better. But I think the holds on all of the boulders that I have climbed are quite clean. So that's why I'm gonna rate it a 8. So yeah. So yeah, now for sociality / friendliness. I think the staff is really, really friendly. The people in the gym are really, really friendly. There hasn't been anyone that acted really weird. You are free to do what you really want. Sitting on the mats, they don't really get on your ass right away. They just let you chill a little bit. They do look if you are following the rules, but I think for the gym, for the friendliness, I think it's quite chill. So I think I'm gonna rate it a 10. Like everyone is friendly in the gym, and I hadn't had anyone that's just really weird or was mean, The sociality in the gym, there aren't super much people climbing in the gym, and when you're climbing in the gym, it's mostly just empty. There's maybe 3 people in the gym. Maybe in the evening there's more people, but I felt like I was mostly just climbing on my own than just, climbing with someone in the gym, because there really wasn't anyone climbing in the gym except maybe 3 people. I think this was like a little bit disappointing. I think they should maybe advertise more so there's more people that maybe want to climb in the gym, or that go climb in the gym, because now it just feels like it's quite empty, even though I don't think that's a really huge problem, because I do really like it when a gym is not super crowded. I do think that when you are searching for some social contact, this gym really doesn't really have that, which I think is a little bit disappointing, but alright. So for Sociality, I'm gonna give it a 2. Let's now talk about the air quality slash conditioning slash ventilation. I think the ventilation in this gym is the only problem that I have with the gym, because they can open the windows, which ventilates quite well, but when I climbed really hard grades, I missed airflow that's above you or that cools you off, because walking to a window but it's wind still, it doesn't really matter that much because you're not gonna cool off. The gym itself felt kind of ventilated, like it felt cool in the beginning, but as time went on and you climbed more, it felt like a sauna. Didn't really felt really ventilated at all. But for the air quality, I think I'm gonna give it a 7. For ventilation, I'm gonna give it a 4. And for the conditioning, I'm also gonna give it a 7. Let's now talk about safety slash safeness. They had clear safety rules when using the training area. They also had clear rules about climbing. I think they do need to have some TV where they can really let you see what the safety rules are and how you should follow and etc. Because they do have that in Boulder, Amsterdam, but they didn't have that here, which I think is a little bit disappointing. I know every single Bouldergym from Werkstof, so that's Kunststof, Krachtstof, Zuidhaven, etc., etc., etc. These gyms have or posters or have the safety rules shown on a tablet. So yeah, I do think if the gym had that, I think I would probably rate it a 10. But now I'm gonna remove 1 point and I'm gonna give it a 9. So this is not gonna take too long because this gym has a lot of really good reviews. The 2-star reviews that you guys can see here are mainly people that didn't explain why they gave it a 2. And these are usually also the people that over exaggerate everything. So yeah, I'm not going into the 2-star reviews here because this gym just has a really good score. For the reviews that I took from this gym, I'm gonna remove 1 point for each of these reviews because they were true. For the rest, I do think that this gym is a really good gym. So this gym's total score is a 6.77. So a 6.8. I think this gym is a really nice gym. It's not really super social. You can't really talk with a lot of people in the gym. The staff is really, really friendly. The gym's vibes are quite nice. They have really good music choice also. But I do think that they maybe can improve the ventilation and also improve the trainer a little bit or make it a little bit better. For the rest, the Routesetting, I think they can maybe focus on having everything on like a level, so you have 7 days that all feel kind of like the same. Of course, grading is really just opinions from the route setters or the people in the gym, but I do think that if we have like a level where 7 A's feel a certain way and 7Bs feel a certain way of like difficulty, I think it's much easier to have a gym that is like successful with its route setting, because now it's just like you have two really easy 7Bs and you have like this one 7B slab in the corner which just feels like way harder than the others, and then you have like one 7A plus which is much easier than a 7A, and you have like 7Bs that are way easier than 7As, which just like, it's not really logical. So yeah, that's why it got a 6.8, and I think if they improved this, I think the gym could get definitely like a lot higher of a score. But I think overall this gym is really, really nice. I really like this gym because, yeah, I'm quite a big fan of these Boulder gyms. They use all of these different kind of holds, and they use it in such a way that it's really fun to climb, which I feel like not a lot of gyms in the Netherlands have that type of like route setting, where it's more about setting fun stuff than really pushing grades, because the monk gyms really do that a lot. Also some older gyms that I know, like definitely also the werkstof gyms like Kunststof and Krachtstof and Energiehaven. So yeah, I think it's really nice to have a gym that just uses different holds and doesn't push grades like those other gyms. So yeah, with all of that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video, which will be about Roost in Zwolle. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.